This particular Nyoung Nye, or the practice of the 8 precepts, actually, is the combination of Mahayana and the Hinayana practices. Not very much of Vajrayana, but actually it has essence of the Vajrayana as well. But the thing is that this practice again is to retreat yourself from these afflictive emotions, especially the defilements such as angry and jealousy and all these major problems. And but this method is something that very much applied to your life directly. Applied to your life directly. In other words, this method is sort of precepts, like it's through very much precept, the vow, and directly through the vow, and by vowing, through vowing yourself not to do certain things for certain period of time, it can give you the message, give you the message, or give your mind the message, message of what is the cause of the suffering, what is cause of the samsara, what is the cause of the pain in your life. So therefore 8 precepts comes about. For example, killing. So with just through vowing yourself not to kill anybody till tomorrow morning, I mean at least, and this gives you the message, gives you or gives your subtle movement in your body and mind the message of message for not being dragged, or for I mean the message to say or to tell you not to be carried away by the anger. And so that is the training, direct training. That's the reason why I'm saying it's a direct training. And it's not very much of transforming or visualization, or it's not very much these things. Not very much involved in these things, because these things are Vajrayana implementation, if you want. But here a direct sort of through the deeds and the moralities and ethics, direct, and through the deeds and moralities, you are supposed to be getting some message and some training directly. That what is really wrong with your day-to-day deeds, or what really drags you into trouble or into problem. So therefore, this is a great training for beginners, even though it's a little bit difficult for those people who are not used to sort of taking vow or keeping vows, but actually this is a very effective practices, because it has direct message that you are getting through day-to-day, sort of through daily activities. So therefore, like a keeping precept, the precept, keeping precept of not killing anybody. Usually we don't put effort in not doing this. We just leave it open, and you walk everywhere, and you sometimes you kill consciously, but mostly you don't kill consciously, but you unconsciously you kill, and you accumulate a lot of things, and you don't pay attention on that. And so therefore we don't have awareness for this. But this practice, we are supposed to be having a lot of awareness on our deeds, how we walk, so that we don't kill anybody. How we, yes, and for example, how we talk, how we go through the conversation, so that we don't tell any lie. Also, be aware of it. Be very much of awarenesses that you have to be talking. So, if you could manage to do that through these 8 precepts, then you will naturally get lots of message that what sort of life that you have been leading normally means ordinarily, and now what sort of things that you from now on you must be doing, you should be doing, and that sort of things. Lots of teachings or message you can get. And not only that, through that kind of message, you are supposed to be getting benefit also. Benefit of diminishing, or maybe at least minimizing anger, minimizing desire, minimizing sense of jealousy, minimizing this and that. For example, not killing, by not killing anybody, or by trying not to kill anybody, definitely minimizes anger. And for example, we say during the precept is there, you are not supposed to be sort of, for example, you're not supposed to be sort of perfuming yourself, or having sort of ornaments and all these things, like to wear ornaments and all these things. Even if you wear it already before, then it's okay. But you sort of after taking precept, you shouldn't be sort of make yourself up very much with the ornaments and all these things. Why? Because these things can provoke your pride, and that's true also. Because if you have something on, then you feel very provoked, very very pride. And the pride, it's a manifestation of ignorance, and it's not good at all. So it's not good means it's not good. It's not good for your practice, for your peace of mind, and for your realization. And it's pride is, from the spiritual point of view, it is a little bit shame, because pride actually is indicating that you are 100% influenced by the ignorant, no doubt about it. So it's a little bit shame and embarrassing from the spiritual point of view. It is embarrassing. So therefore, most of these precepts, and especially this Nyoung Nye practice, is very much linked with your controlling your, or not controlling, but sometimes something to do with your pride. So such as using perfume, sitting on the high throne. I'm also not supposed to be on a high throne, but for today at least. But that was just I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to sort of bother people to again arrange some seat for me and this and that. It's a little bit of a headache, so I just didn't do this. But anyway, sitting on a throne is also not sitting in a high throne, higher than 1 meter or one feet or something like that, and is because you normally get provoked as soon as you are on a high throne or something like that. You guys never had this say experience in life, so I don't think you will understand. But anyway, that sort of thing, this provokes naturally the pride, and the pride kills the practice, and kills the compassion, love, understanding, especially the understanding of your nature. It really kills everything from the root. So the pride is very bad. So that sort of things, and especially like ornaments and making yourself up, sometimes feels very, very good. That's for sure. But the pride sometimes, that's what I told you yesterday. The emotions are sometimes very good also, because sometimes it gives you confidence, it gives you good feelings, etc., etc. But apparently, eventually it'll kill you. It'll kill your root of the practice, spiritual practice. It will, because, for instance, if I may say, for instance, if you have a big pride of your body, for example, then you always tend to have a very sort of how do you say? Tend to bully people, and bully friends, bully sort of like naturally. It's not a very, you don't have to really do this consciously, but unconsciously you'll be like that. I'm very, I'm very good, powerful, or maybe and handsome, or I don't know, whatever you say, and you're nobody, like that. You don't have to say, but you don't have to even act consciously, but unconsciously you'll be like a sort of a bullying and looking down to the rest of the people, and especially the poorer people than you. This is natural, very natural. It's the characteristic of samsara anyway, samsaric beings. So this is something that is it's quite negative, if I may say. It's a very negative in terms of practice, of the spiritual practice. So therefore it should never be allowed to be in your life. The first thing that you should never allow in your life is the pride, according to the spiritual practice. And then because the pride really sort of very, how do you say, very hidden, and sometimes it comes as if it is very good, very nice. It gives you a lot of nice feeling, good feeling. But if you let it grow and let it grow wild, then it really kills everything, and kills the manner of a human being, the good manner, and kills the manner of compassionate love and all these things, kills the understanding and everything, slowly by slowly. It's very deep, also profound. The function is very deep and profound. More than the anger and all this. Angers are very, very obvious and very, very very embarrassing kind of for the moment and for that period of time, the angry period of time. But that emotion is very vivid and very very obvious, and also it's very embarrassing right away, so that it has a lot of chance. You have a lot of chances to understand that you are going through a very big trouble. So it's a little bit of little easier to deal with. Now, whereas the pride is very difficult to deal with, and you always almost always there. Whatever you have a little bit of nice thing, that'll bring your pride. But you don't know, you don't aware, you don't normally aware of that. So, nice dress, nice color of curtain in your home, or whatever, something very small thing, like whatever you have, very small thing, like everything will provoke. That's quite understandable, so as long as it doesn't provoke your pride, then it's okay. This is what Buddha Shakyamuni also said. If you do not have potential to get provoked, your emotion or your especially your pride, you guys can wear the clothing like clothes made out of gold. He said, I have no objection at all. He said that, and it's true also. Whatever you have, you're most welcome to have it if you don't have a pride. But if you do have a pride, then you got to be watched out. I mean, it's better to sort of be aware of it and try to work with it. I mean, I'm not saying that you should be sort of abandoning from today on and you don't wear anything good. That's not right. But of course, it's something to sort of the better to be aware of and work with, challenge, challenge yourself and try to sort of exercise and try to practice. So this is the particular practice you may like to do, you wanted to do. This is for 24 hours and then it will be finished. And you, tomorrow morning onward, for example, after 24 hours, then you can wear whatever you want and put the ornaments and all these things. And then afterwards, when you take the precept, then you will be sort of putting yourself into a different into another sort of awareness, and that's very good training. The one day you are not going to be. You will notice that how it looks like when you are not in precept, and you will notice that what it looks like how you are in a precept. So there's sort of it's a very sort of good training, and good practice in order you to notice or you to have aware of your day-to-day life. So this is a very effective and practical sort of practice anyway. So this is what I wanted to say. Otherwise, if you don't know these things, then 8 precept doesn't really make any sense. Don't drink, don't drink alcohol, don't sit on a throne, a high throne, don't tell lie, don't walk without awareness, because you may kill, that sort of things. Yes, it's but what? Why? And people may say, why we shouldn't sit on the throne, or why we sort of shouldn't use perfume, why you shouldn't use ornaments like the necklace and all these beautiful ornaments. Why not? So yeah, that's obvious. I mean, it's quite. It can be frequently sort of asked questions. I mean, and sort of it may, this kind of question may arise. But actually, this bottom line is to sort of tame your emotion, and especially the pride. That's the short explanation of Nyoung Nye practice, actually. So now, in order to in order to receive the vow, you need to have a person in front of you. That is me, of course, who represents all the bodhisattvas and the love, compassion, and the masters, etc. So this is what you need. And if you don't have it, for instance, if you don't have any masters or any teacher in a flesh, then you also can take this kind of precept from through a method of imagination or visualization. Then you can visualize bodhisattvas and Buddhas around you, and witnessing you, and then supporting you to get the to vow yourself. That also is possible. But you recommend, you are very much recommended, for instance, today, to have, of course, on top of me being here, you should also be visualizing every bodhisattvas and every divine beings and enlightened beings around you and supporting you. And this will give you more confidence. And you should know these things also, practically speaking. If you don't have this, then you may, practically, this is and theoretically also it's very important, but practically it is very important, because if you have only me, human nature is very funny. If I'm, in absence of myself, then you may be doing the other way around. Like, for instance, you may break the the precept. I mean, you may not. I mean, most probably not. But there is a funny part of human nature that says, he's not there anyway. Let's do it, something like that. So therefore, it is very nice to have both the witness in the flesh and the witness witness without flesh. That is without flesh. It's the divine beings who are. It is actually there, but you should also be sort of reconfirm yourself in giving yourself a sort of meditation. I mean, visualizations, etc. So therefore, you will be behaving 100% kind of correctly. So that if I'm not there, if the master who's in flesh is not there, it doesn't matter back in your room or wherever, you will behave, because these masters or the beings, divine beings who are not in the flesh will be there. But he's not there, but these guys may be there. So I should behave or something like that. So this is nice to have that sort of prevention, if you like. And so this is the reason why I would recommend right now you to have visualize all these things in front of you. and in front of them you are going to take the vow. So and respectfully, and to pay respect, you have to sit on the knee, kneel down on knee for just a short while if you can, but if you can't, doesn't matter for some reason. And then what you're going to say is that, please, all you guys, pay attention to me, and I am, I'm taking this vow as you guys did for all sentient beings, liberating all sentient beings from sufferings of disease, sufferings of poverty, and sufferings of mental instability, and sufferings of heat, and sufferings of cold. All these sufferings may liberated. May all these sufferings be liberated by my practice, and liberated to where? Liberated to the enlightenment, to wisdom, to great perfection, where the primordial understanding is, and so that they will, every beings will not be suffered at all, and they'll have a permanent happiness. So this is what, and I'm going to take this vow or precept till tomorrow morning sunshine. Cho chuna shube sanje dang chanju semba tamje dala gonsu se da ming she jiwe twindine sonde twindine sonde chitaranghangi deshin shekwa Drukpa, yang takpa, dzogbe sanje, ta jangshe tabu, langbo chenbo, jawa cheshing, cheba, kurporwa, rangi tun, jesu toba, sipa kundu jorwa, yongso seba, yang takbe ka, lekbaran number, tewe tu, lekbaran number, tewe sherab chen, te namgi, semjen tamjegi, dungi chirdang, pembara chawe chirdang, tewara chawe chirdang, ne meba, chawe chirdang, muge meba, chawe chirdang, chanju chogi, chenam yongsu, zogbara chawe chir, sojong eba, yang takba, langbaran zeba, te shindu, da ming, she giwe kyang, twindene sonde, chisi sang, nima mashargi pardu, sojong eba, yang takba, langbara giwo. So this one repetition is finished, and now the second one. The first one is finished, and the second one again. You have to remind yourself, very strongly, more stronger than the first one, first time. It has to be like very much, and very much dedicated for other beings and other people who are really suffering. So you might have you may say that may all sentient beings, those who are suffering from various kind of incident, and also various kind of under various kind of circumstances, be liberated by my practice, and benefit them, and give them permanent peace. Cho chuna shube sanje tang chanju semba tamje dala gongsu se chitarangwenji tishin shekba trajamba yang takba dzogbe sanje ta jangshe tabu langbo chenbo jawa cheshin cheba kurporwa rangi tun, jesu toba, siba kundu jorwa, yongsu seba, yang takbe ka, lekbaran number, tewe tu, lekbaran number, Trewe Sherabachan, Denamgi, Semjen Tamjegi, Dungi Chirdang, Pembara Chave Chirdang, Trevara Chave Chirdang, Ne Meba, Chave Chirdang, Muge Meba, Chave Chirdang, Chanju Chogi, Chenam Yonsu, Zobara Chave Chirdang, Lana Meba, Yang Takbar, Zogbe Changju, Tokbar Chave Chir, Sojong Eba, Yang Takba, Langbaran Zeba, Te Shindu, Da Ming, She Giwe Kyang, Tundine Sonde, Chisi Sang, Nima Mashargi Pardu, Sojong Eba, Yang Takba, Langbaran Giwo. Now the third reputation, again, you have to cultivate more stronger than the before in order to sort of put yourself in service of every beings, and if you do that, you will be automatically benefited. So therefore, it is a very smart way of doing the bodhisattva practice. Bodhisattvas are kind of the smart bodhisattva way of practicing is that you have to put yourself in service of everybody. Cho chuna shuwe, sanje tang, chenju semba, tamje dala, gonsu se, chidar ngungi, deshin shekwa, dajamba, yang takwa, zogwe sanje, tajang she tawo, langbo chenbo, chawa cheshin, cheba cheba, kurporwa, rangi tun, jesu toba, sipa kundu jorwa, yonsu seba, yang takwe ka, lekwa namba, trewe tu, lekwa namba, trewe sherabchen, tenamgi, semjen tamjegi, dungi chidang, pembara chawe chidang, trewara chawe chidang, ne meba, chawe chidang, muge meba, chawe chidang, chanju chogi, chenam yonsu, zogbara chawe chidang, lana meba, yang takwa, zogwe chanju, tokbara chawe chir, sojong meba, yang takwa, langbar zeba, te shindu, da ming, she gewe kyang, tundine sonde, chisi sang, nima masharge pardu, sojong meba, yang takwa, langbar gewo. Tabino. Now you can sit down properly, and now you are requested to repeat after the actual precepts, announcement of precepts, and the precepts are 8 of them. So all of these things, of course, what are the 8 precepts. So we are just you meant to sort of along with the reputation, you meant to understand why we are going through these precepts. As I mentioned at the beginning, what is the purpose of the precept? So along with that, you should be vowing yourself. Tengne sokje mija sing, jengi noryang langme cha, chikbe chejang mije jing, jungi tsikjang mima wo, gyönne mangbo nyer tenpe, changne yongsu pangwar cha, chiten cheto mija sing, 대신 뒤마 임베세 지당 청와 당내 겐 가르당 루소 방와라자 치터 다좀 따도니 속주라서 미제 따르 대신 속주라서 빵 람메 전주 뉴르토쇼 둥에 망주 직된디 Sibe chole devarsho Om amugashila Sambara sambara Bara bara Mahashudi Satopema Bibukita Bunza daradara Samanta Avalokite Humbe soha Om amugashila Sambara Sambara, Bara Bara, Mahashuddhi, Satopema, Vibhukita, Bujadhara Dhara, Samanta, Avalokite, Humpe Soha, Om Amogashila, Sambara Sambara, Bara Bara, Mahashuddhi, Satopema, Vibhukita, Bujadhara Dhara, Samanta, Avalokite, Humpe Soha, Om Amogashila, Sambara Sambara, Bhara Bhara, Mahashuddhi, Satopema, Vibhukita, Bujadhara Dhara, Samanta, Avalokite, Humbe Soha. This particular practice or this particular ritual, this Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara, etc. This ritual is this ritual or the mantra. I don't think it's called mantra. I don't know. Anyway, this sutra anyway is we call it. I mean, this is a great thing to do to restore your deeds, your wrong deeds, and also to prevent your forthcoming wrong deeds, or whatever you may say. Wrong deeds actually means like the deeds that provokes the ego, and deeds that provokes the emotion, and deeds that provokes the prides and all these things, which are very sort of not very friendly to your spiritual practice. So these deeds can be prevented through this method of this practice. So this is quite effective and useful sort of things to recite. So traditionally we recite this for maybe 21 times or more. So I don't think you have in your mind, you have memorized that mantra, but it doesn't matter. I'll do it a few times for you guys and myself, of course. This is just a method to prevent and to restore. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite Humbe. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Samanta Avalokite. Om Amogashila Sambara Sambara Bara Bara Mahashuddhi Satopema Vibhukita Bujadhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite. So benefit of this practice is to how do you say, temporarily or whatever this in this life, in order it's to how do you say, to prevent your ego from getting wild. As I mentioned before, it's directly linked with your pride, your desire, your anger, etc., etc. So it's the very much the effect and the benefit also. But through that kind of benefit, for long run, for the lives to come in the next, it'll prevent you from taking rebirth in a lower realm, such as hell or hungry ghost or suffering of animals, etc. You don't how do you say? You don't have to you don't have to or obliged, to sort of take rebirth in those lower realms by keeping precept. And something that I've forgotten to tell you is that, for example, this precept, it's you are not allowed and or recommended not to have. You are recommended. No, you are recommended not to have meals after lunch till tomorrow morning. And why, for instance, why this kind of practice has to be done is to prevent yourself to be born in a hungry ghost. So therefore you should keep yourself not eating. And also sometime, not very much in the Nyen, but Nyoung Nye practice, like this is again one sort of step higher than the Nyen. We often ask people not to speak, not to talk. And that, of course, for the time being, it is very much needed, because that'll minimize your obstacles, your distractions, etc. to your practice by not talking. Because if you talk a lot, then it turns into a distraction. So therefore, it is very good for the time being not to be talking, because it's good for your spiritual practice. But that's not only the thing, but then for long run or for the next life, then it prevents you prevents you birth of the animal birth. So that that sort of things, you should really understand what is really the benefit of it. And it's not only for you, but you are benefiting others also to do the same thing through you are doing that. So you're practicing for others, and also through practicing yourself for others, you'll be benefited. So it's like an echo. You're making the sounds, and then the echo will come back, and you will hear what you said. So something like that. So it is very interesting, interesting business. The Bodhisattva practice is an interesting business. You are benefiting, but you are going to be benefited also. You're benefiting others, but you are benefiting others, but through that kind of act, you will be benefited. But if you think you are benefiting yourself, I have to benefit you, I have to benefit myself, and I have to take care of myself, then you won't be, you may not be able to even benefit yourself. Forget about benefiting others, but you may not be able to benefit yourself, because you are so too egotistic and just too selfish. So sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it works, temporarily, but then that is just like a very temporary. It's like maybe for a couple of days, or for a couple of hours, or maybe a couple of months, something like that. That's it. And then the benefit will be finished, and then benefit will over, and then you'll be back in suffering. So therefore, exchanging practice is very, very important. and it's very beautiful and very nice piece of practice. So the Vajrayana, the Bodhisattva practice is a really exchanging love and compassion with the people, and whatever you have, whatever you do, you are dedicating for others. That's the reason why we call it Mahayana, means great vehicle. Great means not only great in the sense of idea, but it's a very it's effectively it's a great, because great in the sense of size also, and a very extended form of mind, very expand. It's like a great vehicle. If you have a long truck or buses or something like that, so many people can go in, and so many people can be transported. And if you have a small, tiny car, and that can hardly take two people, on maybe one, I don't know. So, I mean, I haven't seen a car that takes only one man, one person, but anyway, two anyway at most. So that's capacity is very small, you know. So the mind has to have a very big capacity, so that everybody can join together and everybody share the love and compassion together. So that would be the best way of the practicing. So that's the reason why we have to share why we have to practice bodhicitta for all sentient beings. We always say that all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, we take refuge under the guidance of this and that, you know, and all mother sentient beings, you know, we always say that, but we don't know why we're saying that. I mean, maybe it's because of compassion or something like that. But yes, okay, because of compassion, yes. But logically, this means you are benefiting more for yourself also. You know, this is one thing that you have to understand. Beside, of course, the understand of the effect of compassion, loving kindness. You are very compassionate, so therefore you are including everybody. I'm not very compassionate, so therefore I'm not including everybody, every being, or something like that. That's quite understandable, compassion, love, kindness. But then, beside that, one thing you should never miss in terms of understanding is that, you know, benefit-wise also, in the beneficial-wise, you will be benefited more than what you did for yourself. Much, much, much more. 100 times, 1,000 times more, million times more. You know, if you do benefit, if you do dedicate for all sentient beings, and you really, you know, put yourself in service of everybody. For instance, if you put yourself into service of 100 people, each of the people that you are dedicating to will be indirectly or directly or unconsciously or consciously able to benefit you, maybe not in this life, but lives to come. So therefore, it's a very, very, very effective. So if you dedicate for 1,000, then that will be more. You know, the profit-wise, you'll be getting more profit, and you will be, if you could manage to do this for, I don't know, for limitless as the sky, then the benefit will also be like a limitless as the sky for yourself, as a return, if you like. So, you know, I mean, who will not like this kind of practice? Because you will be getting lots of benefit. You do hardly anything. You do a very small thing, but the benefit will be too great, very great. Just due to the dedication, just due to the method of the bodhicitta. So therefore, it is a very effective and it's a very appropriate kind of thing to do for us, and especially for us, you know, for us who are not really able to do such a great thing by one person, and you cannot do, you know, there's a many limit. It's very limited and very limited. You cannot do a lot. But you do a little bit, and then you dedicate for all sentient beings. I'm doing it for others. I'm not, as if I don't care for myself. But of course you care yourself also, but without caring yourself, you won't be able to liberate many beings. So of course you are doing this for others, doing this for my enlightenment for others. This is what you have to say. You have to say, and you have to think very vividly. So this is what we are going to do, and that dedication also has to be done for others. That's the reason why you are doing it. And if you don't do the dedication or the bodhicitta involvement, then what you have is that your profit will be very, very, very small, because you're just thinking of yourself, and you will get when you get some result of it, you get one small profit, what you have been doing. That's it. Maybe you did a very small virtue or very, very small good deeds, that will be returned, and then that's it, finished. And you have done nothing. I mean, then you will get nothing if you think of yourself. So selfish is not very good in terms of the practice of bodhicitta and bodhisattva. Very bad. Selfishness is always blocks you from getting profit and from getting understanding, and etc., etc. Whole practice. As I said before, the pride is like very much like a selfish. I mean, maybe pride is maybe a immediate reincarnation, or the manifestation of selfishness. I think that's quite true. So basically, pride has principle, the very much essence of the whatever that is, selfishness. Even though we may not understand, or we may not notice it, but I think it is selfishness actually that makes your pride. I think so. So selfishness is always the opposite of practice of the bodhicitta, because it blocks first of everything. The selfishness blocks your love to be extended. That's for sure, because you always think of you to be comfortable, you to be the best, you to be the first person. So that sort of things. And then therefore, whatever you have, the good thing, you wouldn't share with others. You will be keeping it for yourself. So the sharing will be blocked. The sharing deeds, sharing practice will be naturally blocked. Why? Because of the selfishness. So therefore, selfishness is not very respected. So selfishness is something that you have to really break down into pieces and vanish it eventually. And so that's the practice of the bodhicitta, to break down the selfishness and share the love and compassion. Speaking about the sharing love and compassion, how do I share the love and compassion? How do you share? How do we share the love and compassion? And this is something which we should understand a little more about it. For example, sharing love actually means you are sharing. You have to share whatever the benefit you have, or whatever, what you call that, how do you say, the sharing love means it actually is the practice of the generosity. If you do practice of generosity, then you are sharing. Otherwise, you sharing love actually doesn't mean anything. So practice of generosity is practice of love. So you're sharing love. And actually sharing love very much connected with the very much connected with the practice of actual relative bodhicitta. So you care for others, and that care is sharing. You are sharing, even though you don't share physically. You don't share with the sort of share the seats or room or bed or mugs or something like that. That is physical share, but that is not necessarily done if you are not qualified to do so. So it's not very necessarily done to be done. That's very important to understand also. Otherwise, people may get into a soup by sharing yourself with the people. For example, I'm going to this bodhicitta bodhisattva practice is sharing, so I'm going to share everything with the people, and then you will end up with nothing, and that's not a good. I mean, unless you are genuinely developed. If you are genuinely developed, you are most welcome to do so. But if you are not, then you are not recommended to do. From the Bodhicitta Bodhisattva Sutra, it's said many times that if you are not qualified, you are not recommended to share physically. For example, like, for example, do you want to share my throne? Come here and stay, it doesn't matter, we can share together. What a stupid thing I'm talking about, It's not relevant anyway, And so I should leave you down there, leave you guys comfortably down there, rather than asking you to come and share my throne. It doesn't make any sense, So, it has to be done sensible, think. It has to be done sensibly or reasonably. So therefore, the practice should be done reasonably. So that's the thing. So, or something like, for example, if you are going back to London today or something, and if you have a tiny car, and many people wants to go to London, you want to share the car, and as a bodhisattva practitioner, what you have to do, you have to. So then, if you force yourself sharing your car will break down on the road, because the 10 people will be coming in, and then force yourself to drive, and then car will break down, or I don't know, whatever. That is not very nice. And then the result finally will be upset, will be anger. Will be very angry. You will be very angry because these people broke my car. So you get angry. So this actually means you're not prepared to do it. You have a strong tendency to get angry. So therefore, you're not prepared. So you are recommended not to do it, first of all, to start with. So therefore, you should not do it. But mentally, you're sharing, you care. So you care for them. And if you can, within your capacity, you are very much recommended to help, to grant any help. You're very much recommended to do that, but only within your capacity. That's very important, and that is the sharing. That's the sharing love. That's the sharing care. That's the generosity practice in our level of understanding, in our capacity. That's the sharing. And then we can, of course, gradually we will be able to improve so that we can do more and more physically as well. But right now we are very limited, so we should be sort of keep ourselves in the boundary, in that limitation, and try to how do you say, put your mind ahead, or put your what do you call that, motivation ahead. And try to see what it looks like. If you really physically step in, what it looks like. And then if it is really burning yourself, then you're supposed to be step back, and you're supposed to be sort of reversing yourself and say, okay, for the time being, I better be wherever I am. And so that's the reason the motivation should go ahead, and really sort of all mother sentient beings should be sort of covered, should be covered by the motivation. So this is the reason what we say in bodhicitta terminology, the aspirational mind of enlightenment. Aspirational mind of enlightenment is the aspiration, as you know, aspirational mind. So that is actually, you are sending mind. You're sending mind. Actually, you're sending motivation. You're sending, you're sending good wishes for all sentient beings genuinely, and thinking of them very nicely and keeping them in your heart, in your love, and that sort of things. And that's really a great exercise for yourself to extend your love and compassion, and not only love and compassion by in the mind or in sort of but you can actually or how do you say, you will be able to actually liberate physically, all sentient beings. That is the final sort of thing that we want to do. But for the time being, we're not how do you say, we're not qualified, so we're not allowed. Bodhisattvas are not allowed by, according to the Buddha Shakyamuni, Bodhisattvas, the beginning Bodhisattva, who are not qualified to practice entirely, is not allowed. Actually, it's prohibited to practice let's say, the full generosity, and etc., etc. It's not allowed. For instance, like as I said, you share your car, and you force yourself to share, and then it turns into anger, and this is even worse than the not sharing your car, for instance. So therefore, it's much more recommended, much better off not to share to start with, and say, sorry, I have no capacities in my car, sorry, but what can I do? So, but you have a feeling of them, that what can I do for them so that they can get a lift? What can I do? My goodness, I don't have any means to help. So you have a feeling of it. That is very good enough, very good enough to have that to start with. Whereas right now, as a common being right now, we don't have even a feeling. Who are suffering on the street or on what kind of suffering they're going through, doesn't matter. As long as we're not we're not suffering, it doesn't matter. Whatever they do, they're going through, it doesn't matter. So this is very bad. If you feel, doesn't matter. Or if you don't feel anything about the suffering of others, then it's very bad. For instance, like so many poor animals are getting slaughtered every morning, like between maybe 4 to 7 every morning. How many animals are slaughtered? But none of us seems to be even understanding it, or maybe we know, but we don't care. We don't care that so what? I mean, they're being killed. It doesn't matter. So what? As long as we're not killed, so it's okay. So this is what we think. I mean, naturally, we have a nature to think like that. So such a careless person. I mean, such a selfish person we are in this respect. So many animals are killed. Killed actually is a very bad. The very killing is very. I mean, you being killed is such a dramatic kind of situation, but we never feel for them. We never. And on top of that, we go to market and buy the meat, and we enjoy the meat. And that's the reason why the idea of eating meat is a really horrible thing. So that's the reason I wouldn't say I'm become vegetarian, because I don't like to be vegetarianism, sort of involved in vegetarianism and say, oh, I'm vegetarian. I'm vegetarian. I don't like to say that, and I don't like this idea also to be something and then to be to give yourself a label saying that vegetarian, on this thing, and say, oh, I'm vegetarian. That's ego again. But anyway, I'm trying not to eat meat that much, as much as I do before. because of the idea of the eating meat is a horrible thing, because you are not you're eating somebody else's body. Somebody else's body. It's forget about who, but who. I mean, don't talk about others. I mean, the who, they are mother or relative or anything, but it doesn't matter. But somebody else's body, flesh, is something that we can't think of, actually, from the point of view of not only the bodhicitta bodhisattva, but from the point of view of human being, being a human being, being a person who understands a little more than understands more about the nature, about the kindness and all these things. It's quite unbelievable that we can. Unbelievable that we can eat somebody's flesh. Anyway, this is not my main topic that I wanted to talk about. But anyway, that is the care. The care should be there. At least you can't really go there and say all the slaughtering company should be closed. And right now, you can't do that. Literally, you are not capable to do that. You are just a man, just a person here. Walking around, nobody really will listen to you. No government, no private company will listen to you. What you say if you demand for them to close. I mean, nobody will listen, and that will never happen anyway. So there's no capacity. We don't have capacity, unfortunately. So therefore, you're not meant to go to somebody else and make fuss. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But that doesn't mean that you don't care. You just leave it there. No, you have to share your care, and you have to feel for them. You should really have a feeling for them, and then develop your compassion and loving kindness towards them. So this is also one of the greatest exercise that you can do for all the beings who are suffering. And we all are suffering from ignorance or anger or desperateness and etc. The one way or another we are suffering. So we are literally need to pay compassion, convey our compassion and love to almost everybody in this universe, because everybody is suffering via one way or another. So sharing generosity, sharing the practice of love and compassion is the practice of generosity, and we will be talking about this later on, because the bodhicitta practice is very important to be understood. So we will be talking a little bit more about the bodhicitta, how to practice. But meanwhile, I would recommend or request you to go through this practice. We may go in English. We will go through in English a little bit once, and so that you will understand what really we are chanting about. Om. I pay homage to the protector of the universe, you who are the Guru of universe, glorified by the three worlds, honored by the chief of gods, by the demon, by Brahma. You are the sublime king of the manas, provider of the primordial accomplishment. I pay homage to the sublime protector of the three universes, you who possess the secret body, the body of the countlesses, Sugata. You have for a crown Amitabha, the Buddha infinite light. Your right hand is sublime gift, removes hunger and the thirst of the hungry ghost. Your left hand is perfectly adorned with the golden lotus. Your perfumed hair is gleamed with the red and golden necklaces. Your magnificent face is radiant like the full moon. The lotus of your eyes is supremely noble and luminous. Perfectly white like the snow in the cold. You are impressively beautiful. holder of the rosary of the Immaculate in the gleaming prayer. You are adorned with the marvelous lights of the red dove. Your hands are displayed like a lotus light. You are youthful, graced with the locals of the endless cloud. You are adorned with many jewels. The palms of your hands are tender and smooth, like squashed leaves. Your left breast is covered with the skin of a deer. You who wear gracious jewelry, sharing them as a breastplate. You reside in the noble immaculate lotus. The slope of your navel has the smoothness of lotus petal, and with the precious gem. Your hips are wrapped in the scots and the cuts of sleep. Supreme knowledge of the many mills, and you are beyond the great ocean. You who have attained the sublime and fully gathered into memory. You are the source of continuous bliss, the display of the old age and disease. Of sources of the three, you show how to enjoy earlier person. Sublime among beings, victor over the arms of the demons. Nation of feet, Linson with the golden bracelets at the yoke ankle. Your reason are way through the full Brahma state. Holy like an elephant, you have perfectly accomplished the guardians of the doctrines, liberated from the ocean of milk and the ocean of water. Wherever rises and down continuously in the river center, and thinking of powers of Chenrezig, with the pure spirit, clearly recite the sublime crisis, whether they are man or woman, in this life and all other future life, all other needs to be fulfilled in this world and beyond this world. Omo jigden gombola chanze lo jigden lama siba samjete ba pola ye zo de da zambe de ba Poi de vegenjo de ne trovanzemba Poi ji de sungye gombo chola janze Loi de she pa me kude kozanzemba Poi de she na wa ye ge urjenzemba Poi sa yen cho je yi da te kon se wa Poi cha yen ser ye pan me na ma jemba Poi te shimere ve te wa marse choba Poi shere ye pa da wa ta mundemba Poi jenge pe ma chodo san she ya ma Poi kawa tunda nam gar til endemba Poi te me wecha mude tombon zemba Poi zebe wese kyare marbeje Poi be me zoda chane ngawa cheba Poi tengi chinye doda de shinshimba Poi rinje mambe pongba yine gemba Po lo me Chande Shen Jamba Orida Pagbe Numayen Bakaba Ponyen Chadu Gejin Janam Jam Poite ma me pe me chola ne pa poite ne pe me da da anjamba poi sergi kara chola norbite ba Poeta zurete berezasham anzimba Poeta vechenjon sojembare chemba Pochonyesana amambonye wasamba Poeta do deve june gane sewa po sundara enze kaje bade Holy chonde di boy to le gewa po serge kando Jai Shavyo Poi Zambe Neba Jiemba Eba Po Ngambe Deda Langje Deda She Poi Yonzo Nyewa Sashi Temba Yewa po me zo da chuye zo le de po kan ji ta do to ra la ne ke ba ye Chenrezig wang bo ye la sem je Chende be chonde taji sewar tenje na tene jibam pime yingyang roi jewa de amaon jewa tam je tun jikden lende ge So it's all for this session, and we dedicate the virtue that we have accumulated by taking the merit, taking the vow. We're supposed to be sharing this with it. And Nyenne can have breakfast, but no dinner. That's all. So this is something we should understand. If we don't, if you are not, if you don't care about the breakfast, doesn't matter. But have to have a meal for lunch, so that you will not be suffer by hunger. So now this dedication is this. 228 in this English form of the rosary. It's 228. The last two lines you start. Dagi je da jenjurenge wa nama pe je be namge kam jade do sem je kula te bai pa be ba be sa to jo. Okay, now next session will be starting by 9:30. So till then have a good morning.